New York Post article headlines: Here's how many millennials regret their first home purchase. So let's see if I'm in this. I mean, I don't have regrets. I'm a millennial. So let's see. This is not part of the article. It's like a random video that you just insert. Young people in a certain generation are reporting that homeownership often comes with a hefty helping of remorse. Yeah, there's homeowners remorse, right? We've all heard of buyer's remorse, right? So getting a house is definitely one of them, right? When you buy a house and you're just like, geez, I don't know, that was a lot. That is a huge commitment. It's scary. 30 years is a scary commitment. According to a new survey from buyers and sellers focused blog site Real Estate Witch, a whopping 90% of millennial homeowners have regrets about their first home purchase. That's a lot. 9 out of 10 regret it. But then again, the source is coming from a blog called Real Estate Witch. I mean, well, they surveyed 12 people. Like, you don't know what it is. Let's see. That number is up 8% from the website's 2023 Millennial Home Buyer Report, which found that a still high 82% of home buyers in their late 20s to early 40s feel contrite about certain aspects of their residence. Okay, what certain things about the residence, about the house? It's probably like the hit communities and neighborhoods and stuff like that. The most common regret outlet found has to do with abode's location, which means a terrible location, followed by having bad neighbors. Yeah, okay, I just guessed that. And in third place, having high interest rates. Yeah, the chief complaint, bad location. If you're familiar with the area, if you're buying a house that's not too far from your current location, you probably know the area. Like, I'm here in the Phoenix Metro. I know the areas that are rough and that are good. Like, I know the good places of Glendale. I know the good places of Tempe. I know the good places of Phoenix itself, the good places of Chandler and Mesa. But I also know the bad areas and the bad neighborhoods that you don't want to be a part of. But if you're moving from out of state and you don't know these communities very well, that requires some additional research, right? I'd love to trust the realtors, but realtors are trying to get their sell, right? They're trying to make that commission. Because to a realtor, anytime's a good time to buy, right? Anytime's a good time to sell, right? This is where you got to really know people who are not trying to have something to gain out of this question. Probably have to look up Reddit forums or something like, hey, is this a good area, bad area? Typically, you kind of know when you ask like the selling agent, like, how's the crime level in the area? They'll give you two answers. It's either very low crime, like great place to live, or, oh, that's something you should look up on the police website, the local police website. And when they say that, that means it's sketchy. I've heard that plenty of times myself. So bad location, I understand that. Especially if you have to move for a job or whatnot. And if you could get stuck in that house, right? Especially today, oh, it's hard to sell and you have to buy another. It's like you can only trade with people who are in this similar situation, right? Who's willing to take on the current interest rates, and because people with low interest rates are not selling. Bad neighbors. I remember I got good advice, fortunately, from my brother-in-law when I was looking at houses. Because when you're looking at houses, you're looking at how great the house is. It's nice, clean, for the most part. You can start picturing where things will be in the house. You really, you have a lot of blinders on. And my brother-in-law told me, like, before you go in the house, turn around, look at these neighbors. Look at these neighbors. Is there a bunch of cars on their lawn? Which one of them did at a certain location? Actually, the whole street was just like side cars parked with like weeds going underneath them because you could tell that car has not been moved. So the neighborhood did not look so great. And the neighbors, like, if you see that, you might have sketchy neighbors. You don't know what it's going to be like at night. A lot of noise, a lot of parties. Things that would make you regret getting in the house because you only see the house like during the day, right before you buy it. So you don't know what the whole neighborhood's like. You have to know it 24/7. I've heard advice about like, hey, if there's a house you like, if you're able to go there at night, see what it's like, especially like one time during the week and one time in the weekend, to see what it's like. Hang out there maybe in your car for about 30 minutes or so to see, all the cars coming in and out. If it's loud cars, parties, whatnot. I mean, I could see how someone could fall into that regret of bad neighbors. So I was fortunate to have that advice. I had that going in when I was buying the current house I'm in. Because now I live in a quiet neighborhood. Thank God I got good neighbors. I mean, it's also luck based too, right? And the last one is high interest rates, right? I mean, what can you do? Honestly, what can you do with high interest rates? It's just, they might be here for another year, honestly, if not longer. There's talks about interest rates being cut by the Federal Reserve. If that happens, expect home prices to go back up. So if you can afford a house right now, but you think I'll just wait for interest rates to drop, as soon as it does, the price of that house is going to go up, because the Federal Reserve did not really break the prices of homes. They really stalled people from buying and selling a lot, because there's people who have low interest rates who are not willing to sell, and the homes are just too expensive. People don't want to buy them right now. But if the Federal Reserve drops interest rates, I'm telling you right now, home prices are going up. So if you can get a house right now, I know the interest rates suck. They suck right now. But if you can afford the house with the interest rate and live comfortably, might be the time to pull the trigger. Because if they cut interest rates this year, you may be able to refinance for a lower rate and have a lower monthly payment. But the home price, you might be lucky that this is the cheapest that house is going to be, because it might skyrocket. Okay, I just pulled up right now, what is it, January 24th of 2024, of what a 30-year fixed mortgage rate is right now. And it just keeps going up right now, right? At this 6.92 right now. It's almost back at 7%. It was going down when there was talks about, when they talked about we're going to stop increasing interest rates. And then everyone started speculating, oh my God, they might cut interest rates in 2024. And people are saying at least 3 times in 2024. And someone else says, oh, maybe 2 times. Inflation's still high. And it's kind of coasting at the 3.5 mark. Everything's still so expensive. I don't really see the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates this year. Maybe once late 2024, depending how prices are. But the one thing that's really driving the inflation up is the cost of living, the cost of a home. And it sucks. This is not a left versus right thing at all. This is 100% the Federal Reserve. They caused the problem to begin with when they were just quantitative easing, just printing an extra 40% of the new money ever existed in the US. Now we have the skyrocketing inflation. Now they're trying to do quantitative tightening to just get that money back and try to, I don't know what they're going to do, burn it or whatever, try to bring down prices. But it's not, right now their method is not breaking the prices of homes. I mean, of course, this is not financial or life advice. This is entertainment purposes. But if you're in a position where you can get into a house, you can buy one, I think I'd rather do it, because prices are not breaking. And for the last 2, maybe 3 years, I've been watching YouTube videos about how there's going to be a crash. How there's going to be a great crash, right? It hasn't come yet. And if it does, is it going to go back to 2019 levels? I don't think so. It might get set back a year or 2, but it's still not a full crash where things are affordable again, right? I think it's just right now. The price of a home right now, next year is going to be more expensive. Interest rates, I think right now where the interest rates are right now is probably going to hang out in this area. But I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong, honestly. I hope, next month inflation starts going down like crazy and home prices go down. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. I am rooting for that, but I am more on hope for the best, but expect the worst. So I'm expecting that just seeing how things have been going and how expensive things are and how, I guess, how strong the economy is, really. I mean, I don't know who's spending like crazy. I'm saving like crazy. Let me read some comments here. No, their main regret is buying more house than they can afford. My home right now is worth 380,000. My first home was 25,000. I think I found the boomer, by the way. Uh, lived in it for 3 years and sold it for 23,000. So it cost me 2,000 to live in my first house for 3 years. Could have gotten a more expensive one, yes, but why when I knew it was a starter home? So that was probably a boomer, and it's just okay, dude. Like, this is a detachment from reality. Like, home prices are going up like crazy right now, and they continue to project up, and it's frustrating. Yeah, I get we have seasonality where it goes a little down and then comes back up, but overall, it's still going up. Been there, done that as a boomer. Hey, the boomer identified themselves. I know firsthand it's terrifying to make a 30-year commitment when you're in your mid-20s, but there are always ways to ease the fear. After a few years, wait for the interest rates to drop and go with a 15-year fixed rate. Apply the difference, you'll save towards the principal on the loan itself. Not bad advice, however, it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed rates are going to drop. Everyone's speculating that it's going to drop. But ever since we've been living on since 2012, 2008 maybe, with low interest rates, our economy has been nothing but boom and bust. And the people who win are always the people at the top, and the people who lose are those at the bottom. Every single time. And it's frustrating. Let me get back to the article here. So the generation's obsession with buying a house is significantly why there are now so many regretful owners. I mean, people obsessed with buying a house. Every American wants to be a homeowner. How can you throw the word obsession? Are they just trying to shame people for wanting to be a homeowner? What is this sentence? For instance, the real estate witch found that a significant majority, 67%, of millennials would be willing to buy a home with asbestos. Why? Houses that have asbestos are built from the 70s and older, right? I think I could be wrong. Maybe 80s and older, where they stopped putting in that material and changed it up. I'm sure someone in the comments will correct me. The same share was game to purchase a fixer-upper. 62% would buy a home with mold, and 58% would buy a home with foundation issues. No. Unless the fixer-upper is worth like 20 grand, and you're willing to put in like $100,000 worth of work in the house. Oh gosh, I've said this story before. When I was looking for a house, especially in today's market, there's houses that are desirable. They don't require a lot of work, but they get sold like right away. So you have to, that's a challenge, is to jump on that, right? And then there's houses that have been out there for 60 plus days, right? And they try to do weird things. They try to relist it, make it look like it's new. Okay, whatever. But there's huge problems with them. There's one house I put an offer for and it got accepted before this house. It was just like that. I didn't really look at the neighborhood. My brother-in-law came with me in the inspection. He was like, dude, look at this neighborhood. Are you sure about this? I'm like, And my brother-in-law came in like he knows how to inspect houses. I mean, he's quite the handyman. So he's with a flashlight. He's looking at every corner, every nook and corner out there, making sure every screw is in or missing. And he found a lot of problems. I was like, damn, you're right, man. Because I went in there all rosy-eyed. So if you have a friend who really knows houses or how to look at houses for like the smallest little things that could turn out to be a lot, it's worth having. Also, do not skip out on inspections. The general inspection for a house, I think it was like $400 or $500. You absolutely need to get that one. I'm happy I did it. And then get another one for roof and air conditioning. Yeah, it's another, I think, $100 each for that. It's worth it. Because when I did it for this house I thought I was going to get, the roof was at the end of its life. And of course, air conditioning was at the end of its life. So already I'm looking about $30,000 deep. And plus, the house had terrible floors that need to be corrected. Some things were modern that I can get by, like some of the kitchen looked modern, some of the bathrooms looked okay. Like I could live off with it, but like you'll find this stuff, especially in the inspection. Like there's a lot of things that need work. Some new appliances. Some of them, I don't remember which appliances anymore, but some of them did require them. It's weird when you see a house that doesn't have appliances. Like they don't include it. Like they take it with them. I'm like, okay. But I digress. If you are house hunting, do not skip out on the inspection. You'll save a lot of money on that. In the long run, you will save a lot of money. With that house, I asked for, hey, that offer, here's a revived one. You know, I said minus like 35,000 because new roof, new floors, new AC unit, and new windows. There was like windows that needed to be replaced completely based on the inspection. They told me no, F off, and I said, okay, this deal's done. I got out before you lose money, right? The only money I really lost was inspections. It was worth it to really understand before you commit into this 30-year commitment, right? So, and the whole, you know, in 2021, when people buying houses like crazy, they were waiving inspection and buying well above asking price. Like, I can see some of those people feeling regret, right? They thought they had an awesome house, and then all of a sudden things are caving in. They need a new roof, new AC unit, and like new everything. Like, jeez, man, I just got sold a dud. Yet these concessions come despite the fact that 35% admitted they feared making major repairs, and about 1 in 5 millennial homeowners admitted they regretted buying a fixer-upper. Yeah. With how expensive things are material-wise, and if you're not much of like a handy person, and you can't fix things yourself, you're going to have to hire out, and labor is very expensive, and that fixer-upper becomes a lot more than what you had in mind. I'm not saying I'm an expert that when I walk into a house I'm thinking about buying, I go, oh, this needs something new, it's going to cost this much, it's going to cost that much. I'm not there. That's why I have people who I know who are really good at that come with me when I'm really thinking about buying a house. If you have that kind of network, highly recommend it. Give them what they want. Maybe throw $200 with them to come with you. Something, right? Because it's a major commitment. It's worth it. On this last point, I want to say, simply do the research before signing the deed. I mean, what is the research? You know, what is the research you're talking? I mean, it's kind of a blank statement. Like, do your own research. Okay, what research are you referring to? I mean, I could look up anything on Google, and that information is going to be completely different from what other people are looking at. So I gave you some pointers about like, do not skip inspections when you find a house, look around the neighborhood. You know, that's just a snippet. But I'm sure there's going to be people in the comments about how to avoid buyer's remorse, how to find the right house for you, things to look for, because I know I missed some. And I'm sure people in the comments are going to mention some. So I think that's it. That's a long video as it is. So if you made it this far, I believe I deserve a like. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. I do read them. And have a good day. Bye.